I'm watching you do leg press, and it's like 40 weights on there.
Plus
two on the top.
2 on each side, something like that, yeah. Action isn't as valuable as we were all led to believe. Yeah.
That's the same exact, and I tell people all the time, I go, you say you're a Christian, you say you're a Catholic, you say whatever you are, but you don't have enough faith to believe in your own abilities. God can open the door and say, I got $1 billion behind that door, but you have to have enough confidence to walk through that door no matter what's behind that other wall.
If you're watching this, you're at the right frequency to hear this. So you're blessed just right now.
It's that motivation, it's that fire to the candle, it's a call from something greater, trying to lead with an example.
What's going on, everybody? So on today's show, this is the first show of 2025. We're going to kill it. We got none other than Dr. Steven Enriquez in the house.
What up, what up?
Man, dude, you're swole. You know what's crazy is like on Instagram and stuff, you know, you post a lot, you and your wife and stuff, and it's a lot of fitness. I watch you doing some leg presses, and I'm just getting into leg presses.
Yeah.
I can't even pick up anything. Like my arms are kind of jacked now, but I'm watching you do leg press, and it's like 40 weights on there, 45 pounders. I'm like, is this guy lifting like 800 pounds? How much are you leg pressing? I didn't count them. I just looked, and I'm like, that's too much to count.
Yeah, it was quite a bit.
That last one was like, you probably had like 6 or 8 plates on each side.
Plus
two on the top.
2 on each side, something like that, yeah.
So you had like 8 on each side. Just say 8 on each side. So 8 times 45, what's that? 8 times 4, 320, 5, 340, 680, plus 90, 180, 680, 780, 860. I was like right.
Yeah.
You're like close to 800. I'm kind of 860, but say we took off 90 pounds.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've heard the joke, like leg press PRs don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just squat PRs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot, but yeah.
I was like, this guy's a beast.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on the show.
Hey man, thanks for inviting me. It was fun. I know it took us a bit to get up together, but dude, first of the year is the best time to do it, right?
Yeah, we're gonna kick it off right. You know, we're gonna get into some health, some healthy lifestyle talk and all that good stuff. But so you're a chiropractor by profession.
Yes.
And like what does that look like? What is because I've been to a couple chiropractors and some have this little like shooting thing that sucks. I hope you're not that guy.
Yeah.
What's that little gun?
That's a tool that's used though, but yeah, it's called an activator.
Yeah. I think that's fake. I'm sorry.
That's cool. Yeah, man. No,
sure
it's whatever you believe to. Yeah. No, but it's an addition.
I'm just like, dude.
Some people are like scared of getting their necks popped and stuff like that. So we utilize that tool.
I think it's good for like babies and stuff. Like
yeah,
maybe
man.
Old,
You know,
people.
it's like one of those things, man. You have to work with the rhythm and the frequency and the energy of the person.
Body?
Do I use it on my body?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
you wanted some real.
I get adjusted. Yeah. I like the old school kind of like I want to feel my teeth.
I think it's cool
rattle,
for babies.
You know.
But some dude tried to do it on me. I'm like, dude, what is this gonna do, bro?
Well, you know, it all is about the frequency and the energy of the practitioner too, right? So I come from a place of like, you know, I always try to align my mind and my body and get everything dialed in.
Yeah.
So that way, you know, that can be transmuted into the patient so they can feel that energy, because that's all that healing is. It's just, you know, it's the patient recognizing the healing potential inside of themselves, right? That's all healing is, right? How do you align with what's inside of you already? How do you remove the interferences? And that's what chiropractic is all about, right? We're electrical beings, right? We need our brain to shoot signals through every one of those cells at 120 miles an hour. And if there's a misalignment in the vertebrae somewhere, well, that electricity is not going to operate at 100%. So your God-given potential of healing is going to be altered. Your brain's not going to function at 100%. You're going to be in a fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, you can't think straight. You know, we've all been in times where we've been stressed or angry, and you operate completely differently. You do different things than you normally do. You break stuff, you yell. All that's part of the human experience, but, you know, it makes us more animal than human, right?
Yeah.
So that's what healing's all about, and that's what chiropractic is about.
I think it's so true, because like if you go back like into the Bible, it says we were made in His image. He was a creator. We are creative beings.
100%.
We're able to do a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. And it's like that self-talk is huge. I mean, we hear all these stories like placebo pills, you know, they're taking water and they're getting healed. You hear people dying like in freezers where they're not even turned on.
Right, yes.
They're freezing to death. Like,
I mean, it happened, during the COVID crisis and stuff. Was it really worse than the actual flu, or did the media spin it and get us so scared that we had some little thing, and that's what really affected our immune system? It was scary though. I remember.
It was bad.
It was hardcore.
Like I remember when we're on that topic is we had one guy die. We did. It's truth. But the fear was so bad.
It was bad.
We got sick. Our whole office got whacked at the same time. I mean, like with like the highest strain of this shit. It was the second one, the high strain.
Right.
And so I remember when I got sick, I there's so much fear set in, and I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
There was, and I'm not like the baddest dude or whatever, but I'm not a weenie. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna die right here.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until like I went into the hospital, which I didn't want to. My wife made me.
Right, because everybody's
you died once you went into the hospital.
Yeah, right.
Your mind said shut down. You're done.
But it's wild, right?
The mind said if you went to the hospital, you're dead. Plain and simple, right? Because that was the narrative. So then I get to the hospital, and I remember, like I'm in a hospital, and this is a true story. So this guy, they're giving me shit. I'm sick, and I think I'm gonna die, and can't breathe, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then I get in the hospital. And this guy comes into my room, and he's a nurse, a big old Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Right. And he looks at me, and I'm out of it. And I'm like, and he says, Chris, whatever you do, walk around and eat. They're gonna tell you to stay down. They're gonna tell you to do nothing. Walk around and eat. All right. So I'm on a breathing machine. I'm like all this stuff, and then he leaves. He leaves like a bag of hose, extra hose for the machine.
Yeah.
Because I only have like 4 feet or something to lay down.
Right, yeah.
And I'm listening, and I'm like remembering, and I put like praise and worship, and I could barely move. I lost like 30 pounds by this point.
Yeah.
And I hook up the hose, and I get up and start moving like slow. Then I just start ordering all kinds of food. Anytime I could order food, and I couldn't eat at that point.
You just forced yourself?
I didn't eat for a week.
Yeah.
And I just forced myself. Then I remember, like it was like nighttime by this time, or maybe the next shift, or whatever it was. And I'm like, hey, where's the that guy, the nurse that came in the day before? I wanted to talk to him and tell him I'm doing good, and they're like, and I was like, it's a big Mexican guy, and they're like, we don't have a guy like that works here.
Wow, that gave me chills, dude.
It's exact the word. We don't have a guy. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah. And
then so I'm just like, oh shoot, this is God. Like I gotta, 100%. This is me.
Yeah. Yes.
Then, I had they got pissed at me. I had like 50 feet of air hose. And I'm walking around my room into the restroom, going out, and they're like, sit down, lay down. I'm like, F you guys.
Yeah.
And then like by 3 days, I was like getting my stuff back. And then another person came in. Actually, that guy said, he goes, we just had to get your vitals. The guy, I think it was an angel.
Yeah.
He goes,
Mexican angel.
Big Mexican. I swear as God is my witness. Nobody knew who he was. And this guy's telling me what to do. And he's like, we got to get your levels to... Your breathing levels, I forgot, it was like 80 or 85, whatever it was.
Yeah. But somehow you trusted him. Like it somehow touched you in a way where like you felt that sense of power. I was like,
I got this. I could do this.
Yeah.
Before that, I was dead.
Yeah.
I was dead. I was marked as dead, and the power of the mind. And then when you can put some good nutrients and, a good system to it, it's like, we're so powerful, bro.
100%. Yeah.
So I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you said like we have all this electricity inside of us, and think about like electricity and a power outlet. Like if you unplug something, like you lose all the power.
Right. Yes.
That's like us as beings with God. If we're plugged into the Word,
right,
we can utilize that power because it's in that book is like all these tools of how to live our best life now.
Dude, I just keep studying the Bible, and I've never, I grew up Catholic, but I was never religious necessarily until like I don't know what called me to be a healer, but I've been practicing chiropractic for almost 20 years. I've seen over 250,000 patients. So I've seen so many healings and so many, how the mind can affect the body and how we're actually projecting our reality, but it seems like it's separate. And yeah, that's the biggest thing that I see is that, there's Christ consciousness inside of us, right? That's what he came here to tell us. I am the way. You have it inside of you. Greater acts than I. And I think everybody, and I believe this 100%, it gets born in everybody at some point. And then when it takes effect, you can't stop it. And that's the biggest thing. That's why when he says, don't worry, it's going to happen to every single person, and you can't even stop it when it happens.
Yeah.
It takes over.
Yeah. So you've been doing chiropractic work for over 20 years.
Yep.
How'd you get into chiropractic? Where were you born and raised at?
I was born in Yuma, Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's like nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Actually, it's grown a lot. We did a job over there. We did like a little medical hospital.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So they're building some houses and stuff. But there's like when you were there.
It's the lettuce capital of the world. I think it's the watermelon capital of the world.
How old are you?
Too.
Like 40 or something? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 46. Yeah.
Yeah. So mid 40s.
So I'm going to be 46.
So back then there
week,
was just farmland and
yeah.
some not that much stuff.
Not that much stuff. Yeah. Mexican town, like right across the border.
Yeah, it's all farmland.
Yeah.
So you grew up, you're born and you
grew up there, and I don't know. At some point, when I just knew I was going to be a doctor. So I don't know if it was my mom was convincing me, or I just kind of projected that. And I always loved reading like medical books and like muscle magazines, and like I loved studying the anatomy and physiology. It was just something. I've read thousands of books. I had a huge like library and stuff. I just always liked doing it. So I never really watched TV. I know it was strange. I didn't watch TV that much. I would just go and like read encyclopedias and stuff.
Cool. yeah. Back then you were like a dork. Like
today
totally. You're cool to read, right? It's true.
Well, yeah. It's like one of those things. Like, you like what you like, and you kind of can't stop it. But I used to study a lot, and I still do. I don't watch TV or any of that stuff. The most I do is like Instagram. But when I'm using Instagram, and if you watch my stuff, it's really just self-programming in front of people, right? And trying to help people.
You're giving us nuggets. It's a tool.
Yeah, I'm using it for my own.
It's a tool.
Yeah, totally. And as I do it, it helps other people. So like it helps program people. And basically what we're talking about, they have it inside of them. Yeah. Right? The power's in you. Yeah.
So what university did you go to? Did you go to university?
I went U of A, University of Arizona in Tucson.
Which is medical.
Yeah, I got a degree in microbiology. And in that time, I was going to go to medical school, and I had this crazy skin condition where like I had like ulcers all over my legs, right? It's like, if you've seen older guys, you ever seen these older guys that have like all these brown spots and ulcers all over their legs, and like they never heal, and they're like oozing and all that kind of stuff?
I never seen that, but I believe
Yeah. So, I mean, you can imagine that. And I was like, 19, 20, and I had that like all over my legs. I mean, it was so bad. It's like, how like when you go to pool parties and like you go with friends and stuff like that.
You're
like
wearing sweats and shit.
Yeah. It was 120 degrees. Like I don't, you go to a pool party. It's like I wasn't embarrassed to take off my shirt, but like I never wanted to wear, because they just looked terrible, right? It was like, I remember going to sleep and it'd be like, before I open my eyes, like, please God, tell me it's a dream. I wake up, I'm like, oh shoot, yeah. So I had this skin condition, and I went to all these doctors. They gave me these pills. They gave me huge doses of steroids and creams, and took all my blood work. They said nothing was wrong with me. I'm like, no, dude, look, I got spots, ulcers, and just oozing all over my legs. There's something wrong with me, man. Like, so nobody can help me.
Wrong.
Yeah.
So
there's
nothing wrong with you. You just look like a leopard.
Right? Yeah, totally. Right. Like, and I was super self-conscious of it.
I would be too. Shit.
And so like, I even went to like Chinese doctors where I drank like the worst teas ever that looked like tar, and I still did it. I went to acupuncture, everything, right? Nothing seemed to help it, right? So this is over a year and a half. I'm like, damn, dude, like I'm going to go into this profession, and the thing that I have that I'm going to, go help other people with this profession, with these tools that they're given in this profession, I couldn't help people. And in my mind, I was like, dude, I'm not healing from the inside. It's nothing that they can give me. It's like my insides aren't healing. It's breaking down faster than I could recover. And so if I was in a microbiology lab one time, and I was telling my lab partner, he's like, you ever think about seeing a chiropractor? I was like, chiropractor, what are they going to do? My back doesn't hurt, right? But I mean, I did wrestling, and I did, biking, and I've had crashes and all that kind of stuff. So I've had like issues in my back and things in the past, and had injuries. So I was like, you know what? He told me, it's like, you know what? You heal from the inside, and how it works is if there's something out of alignment in your body, then the nerves aren't going to work right, your organs are going to work, and you're not going to heal right. And I was like, you know what? I've tried everything. Let's go see a chiropractor. Fine, right? So I went to a chiropractor. He took my x-rays. He kind of told me what I told you, right? It's everything. Healing comes from the inside. And if you're not communicating, if there's some type of interference, obviously something's going to show up, right? You're going to have some pain or some type of bodily issue. And I was like, I can accept that. And he showed me my x-rays. And can you fix my legs? And he told me something. He looked right at me and he said, look, I'm not going to heal you. You're going to heal you. I'm going to put the bone in place, and God's going to do the rest. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
So
because
he said it just like that.
He said it like that, dude. It gave me chills. And I was like, damn, God actually told me the freaking truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I get chills just thinking about it right now. I was like, I can dig that, man. You told me the truth. And so I went like every day for like 2 weeks. And after a month, like these spots that like weren't going away, there's almost like 2 years by now, started to clear up by 50%. Wow. When I went 3 months, they were gone completely. And in that process, I was like, hey, can I just come hang out? I'll like throw your trash and stuff. I was like one of these dudes, right? Yeah. And it kind of shocks me sometimes where, there's, I'm sure you have a lot of younger guys come and be like, hey, I want to learn how to do this business and like that. But they're not willing to do whatever it takes.
They want me to pay them.
Yeah. I've had that too, right? Yeah.
Can you pay me like $100,000 to learn from you? Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. I was like, dude, can I throw your trash? I'll sweep your floors. Yeah, dude, I'll clean your tables. So I did that. Yeah, and I helped him market and all that kind of stuff. Just let me hang out here for a while. So like, I was going to University of Arizona at the time, and it was like right down the street. So after I got out of classes, I'd go and like help them and do all sorts of stuff. And that didn't pay me nothing. I didn't want to. I just wanted to be a part of it. And I saw like little kids come in for ear infections, older people that had huge bad sciatica, couldn't walk, knees, and all sorts of, not only like back and neck pain, headaches, and just all sorts of stuff. Really bad PMS or vertigo and things that you would.
Constipation.
Everything, right? Prostate, testicle, everything that you can. And so when I saw that, and I saw like the energy in the office and the vibe, and the doctor was free and he was loving it, he's having fun, I was like, dude, this is it. I'm gonna be a chiropractor. So like, I remember on the phone, I told my mom, I'm like, I'm not going to medical school anymore. I'm going to be a chiropractor. She's like, you're crazy. No, stop, right? And like basically every one of my family members just really tried to convince me not to, but it was too late, man. I was in. It was too awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool because like, that's God moving in action because you're destined to become a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Like, plain and simple. Like, what would you be doing in microbiology? Trying to create like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, so you only get a microbiology degree if you're going to be like a dentist. I mean, some people are like lab microbiologists and stuff, but I was planning on being, because it's the same prereqs as pre-med basically, right? Yeah. So you either be a dentist, a physical therapist, chiropractor.
So you rerouted and went to chiropractic school?
Yeah, I went
at U of A or something?
No, then in LA, Los Angeles College of Chiropractic in LA. Yeah.
So your parents, they're paying for all this, right?
No, I paid for everything. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if they were paying, they have the right to be like.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You're working your butt off.
Yeah. I did. Worked, went to school, did all that kind of stuff.
You know what's crazy is like
self-supported.
That's so cool that you were talking about how you just went and wanted to be a part of what that guy was doing. And I tell all these young adults, like these young entrepreneurs, like, are wanting to get in something, go learn for free.
Yeah.
Go be around. Like, don't expect.
Dude, I would have paid the guy to hang out with him, dude.
And I was thinking. So someone came up to me and they go, you got to start. Because I tell people like, yeah, we can pay to do all this stuff, but I go, you need to put some skin in the game.
Yeah.
I go, you need to start learning after work, right?
100%.
And that person mentioned that they wanted to go to college for something else. I go, you want to go to college for something else, go back to school for something else, but you're dealing in finance now, and you won't learn about learning how to better your position right now.
Right.
But you're thinking about doing something else. I go, it makes no sense.
Right.
I go, you want me to pay you to learn, but you'll pay to learn something else.
Right. Yeah. And you can't even use that knowledge in real life at college, right?
No, it's
which is crazy.
Yeah. It's like internship. Internship is powerful.
Huge.
And if you can intern under somebody, either free or for minimum wage, like low cost, right? Because you want to learn from that. The goal is to learn from that person.
Right.
But you can't expect people, like I've told people, hey, I'm probably going to start charging to like mentor you and coach you because I'm giving you a lot of free stuff and you're not appreciating it.
And you know what? They would benefit more from it if they paid.
Yeah.
It's huge like that,
You're going to utilize the tools.
Well, it's like you're signaling to the universe that you care about yourself with an investment of energy. Money is just energy, right? And it's like that with everything else, with, get healing and, with nutrients, supplements, programs, peptides, all this kind of stuff. When you put skin in the game, right, or your energy, or it's a sacrifice, a trade, you get the benefit just from releasing that money right away. it already starts right then.
When you want to get because you want to get your best bang for your buck. You want to get the most out of it.
It's like, like everybody clings, a lot of people cling to money as if it's the thing. But money is just the energy that, recirculates back to you from putting that positive energy out there. So, if you can separate yourself from that money, you always get dividends, right? You always get a change in yourself instantly.
And I'm a big proponent of sowing and reaping. So
100%.
Of karma. What goes around comes around. So if you're putting your time and effort and money into something, it's gonna feed you back. 100%. It's gonna grow.
Yeah.
But if you're not, like, if I go to you and I'm the opposite and I say, hey, I want to learn how to be a chiropractor, but I need you to pay me $37 an hour, I'm not gonna get any return from that.
Right.
First of all, you're gonna hate doing it because you know how unappreciative I am.
Right.
So I'm gonna learn a bare minimum from you.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, hey, look, I love to do this. Look, I don't need to make anything, but if you could pay me minimum wage,
right?
For the first 6 months and see how I do. If I learn a lot, then we can figure it out.
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Right. Hey, if I make myself valuable enough at some point, if you want to pay me, cool. Right. Because that's assuming the end in mind. Right. That's assuming that you are going, and it's a personal thing too, right? When you assume the end in mind, you're going to act as if right now you're going to start having the universe bend to you right then. That's when the gifts start. That's where the blessings start.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you in advance, right? That's what you're basically saying. Like we talked about Jesus and how he raised Lazarus, right? Mm-hmm. He prayed and he said something out loud before. He said, thank you, Father, for you always hear me. I know you always hear me. I'm just saying this out loud so others can hear how I'm doing it, right? So we can hear how he does it.
Yeah.
Out of time, timeless.
Yeah.
Right. And assuming the end in mind, assuming that identity. And that's huge. I talk about this often on it's all I talk about really. I talk about consciousness and everybody's motivated by money or changing their body or relationships and all that stuff. It's cool. The juice is the consciousness shift. And that's when we jump timelines. That's when we really make the magic happen. That's when we use that imagination or God inside of us to really see and feel how it feels to have that identity of that person. What does it feel like to have abs? What does it feel like to be really healthy and strong and loving and all that stuff? You can have an imagination right now out of time and start tapping into that other timeline that's happening right now.
Yeah.
We're just not conscious of it. And so when we make ourselves conscious of it, we start to assume that identity. Eventually, one day we'll open our eyes and we will see the abs, we'll see the muscles, we'll see the relationships, we'll see the money in the business, right? And we have that inside of us. And we talked about that before we started, right? And that's the God-given potential inside of each one of us. We have that ability.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool.
What it is like when it's lack of confidence, right? And confidence is tied to faith.
100%.
Right. Those are like, those two words could be like brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just spiritual and more natural. Right.
Yeah.
Confident. So like, if we're confident in our own abilities, we're gonna do it.
Right.
But if I'm not confident, I can't get abs, and I can't wake up in the morning. I can't breathe. I can't. That's the same thing as saying I have little faith and I don't believe in God.
100%. Yeah.
That's the same exact. And I tell people all the time. I go, you say you're a Christian, you say you're a Catholic, you say whatever you are, but you don't have enough faith to believe in your own abilities. You don't have enough confidence. God can open the door and say, I got $1 billion behind that door, but you have to have enough confidence to walk through that door no matter what's behind that other wall.
I mean, exactly. I mean, he literally sent Jesus to show us how to do it. And everybody keeps saying, oh, yeah, Jesus can do it, but I can't. No, he says, I am the way. Do it the way I'm doing it. And he shows us this. And that's the same thing as saying, like, I believe everything I see, but not what's going on inside of me and how I'm created.
Yeah.
Right? It's storing your riches on earth instead of heaven. Heaven is a mindset. Heaven is the imagination. Right? If you store all your riches and things out there, you're always going to think it's an outside-in world, but it's really an inside-out world.
Yeah. Reality
matches your true innermost being.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're always going to be affected by outside forces.
That goes back to, like, there's parts in the Bible where they talk about heaven on earth.
Yes.
And people, like, so many people are ready to die and it's like, God wants you to have your best life here.
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Not when you die. Yes, there could be paved gold roads and all this stuff.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
But why would you want to live like a piece of crap right now when you're made in his image and you're a creator and it's like heaven on earth? So if we can tell ourselves, we got this, you can do this, Johnny, you can do this, Jill, you can, like, we're creators. We're so powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Like our bodies can heal themselves.
100%.
Like my arm, it was purple, all purple.
Yeah.
And like I'm like telling myself like you gotta heal. Like I went to get an MRI. This is taking forever. The MRI doctor, it's taking way too long.
Yeah.
It's stupid, right? And I'm like, I gotta heal fast because like I'm gaining weight rapidly because I can't even use I can use my arms, but I'm trying not to because they hurt and I don't want to rip them apart.
Right.
You know, both arms. And it's like, I'm like, I gotta heal. And then I gotta get some peptides.
Yeah. There's peptides for that too.
I know.
Right.
I'm learning
It's called
about
the Wolverine stack. It's good. Yeah.
Well, I'm like, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So chiropractic, you go to school, you change your career. We're going back a little bit. You change your career. Your parents are like, "Are you crazy, Steven?" And then you're like, "Mom, did you grow up with both parents?"
Yeah.
Mom, Dad, hey, look at my legs were jacked up. I seen this dude. He's telling me that this guy's God sent. Were they religious? Your parents?
I mean, like as religious as Catholics, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Go once in a while.
I didn't know anything about the Bible. Like, they just
went to church like whenever someone got baptized.
Like a couple times a month or whatever. Christmas.
And so you're like, hey, I'm changing. They're like, no, but you found something. So you just like cut out U of A and then
no, I finished. So I finished that. So then I finished U of A, graduated.
So you got a bachelor's?
Yeah, a bachelor's in microbiology, and then moved to a Los Angeles College of Chiropractic.
How was that so you're moving on your own, young adult?
Yep.
What are you, about 22, 23, something like that?
I was 21, yeah.
21. And so you go to chiropractic school. Your parents are in Yuma.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And so how was that?
It was cool, man. It was great. It was great living in LA. It was like North Orange County. So
it wasn't as whacked out as it now.
No, it was nice, man. It was cool. Like the weather was amazing. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned what I needed to do right away. I knew I just knew look, I just needed to get my degree, focus on being the best adjuster because I loved it, right? And focus on just being the best at having people skills. I knew that right from the get go. So I was reading Think Rich, Grow Rich, the Law of Attraction, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie stuff. I was just I spent probably more time on that stuff.
And influence.
Oh yeah,
I just listened to that book for the third time.
It's so good, right? Yeah, that was one of my favorite books right there. Yeah. Think Rich, Grow Rich, all that stuff. The old time school, the old school stuff.
Well, that's what everybody learns from.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun.
No, it's all rehashed.
Yeah, it's just regurgitated, change up a couple things, change a couple pictures, put a different face on it, and repackage it, and it's like you're the God's greatest thing.
Right, yeah, totally.
You hear them, and you're like I hear, I don't want to bash the guy, but I won't even say his name, but he's real popular.
Yeah.
And he says a lot of stuff, and then I've been hearing a lot of Jim Rohn last year. I'm like, everything he's saying is from Jim Rohn.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But, because Jim Rohn taught Tony Robbins taught this guy.
Right, yeah.
These guys learn from that guy.
Right.
It's the same.
It's the same stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even a lot of the stuff that Jesus said, everybody's...
It all comes back from the Bible.
Yeah.
Dude, all of them, everything they say.
I mean, there's even stuff before the Bible. It's, everything's there's laws of the universe that can't be transmuted, right? Or they're immutable, rather. They can't be changed. You can't bend these rules. It kind of works like that.
They're all principles. That's why I talk about sowing and reaping, because it's the biggest thing, because everything grows.
Yeah, 100%.
And if whatever you want to grow, you plant those seeds.
You water those seeds. Yeah.
And I tell people, you can plant the seeds, whatever you want. You want weeds or you want fruit? You tell me.
Yeah.
It's up to you. That's your life.
Right.
Yes. You're the freaking farm. You're the freaking farmer.
Right.
So what do you want? What do you want your crop to be?
I think this is important. That's a really important point because God will help you either way, right? Think of electricity. It's there's something in the Bible that says that God is no respecter of persons, or he doesn't show favoritism.
He does, yep.
Right? So electricity can either electrocute you or can help you cook your food.
Yeah.
Ask and you shall receive. This is more recent, but I'm really getting the hang of it. I think of a 1-to-1 ratio. Ask and receive, input, output, right? So if my reality is showing me stuff that I don't want to see, people are getting pissed off or I'm getting pissed off. Oh, I'm asking for this somehow.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm receiving it. It always happens. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So how is our reality showing up? It's showing up how we're praying and asking. And worrying is praying for the stuff that you don't want.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with reaping and sowing. So you're either planting weeds or you're planting roses, and what your reality is showing you what you're planting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what's so cool about it. God will help you either way, so that you can start to direct and control your experience. You know, I heard something that like a couple months ago, like spirituality without the ability to affect your reality is vanity. It's just trying to show people that I'm spiritual. It's trying to show people I follow Jesus and I like what he has to say, but I'm not actually practicing it because I'm not really showing that on earth as it is in heaven, how it's going on in my mind. I'm not showing that I am affecting all that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. It's there's so many people out there that, especially I don't go on Facebook. But I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. Yeah. Instagram's cool.
Yeah.
I started off on LinkedIn, and I barely maybe a year on Instagram. But that speaking to fruition, that whole sowing the seed is. I was thinking this last night, and I want to tell my kids about it today. I'm like, because I really like. I feel like I'm blessed.
100%.
Everybody has the right to be blessed.
100%.
I just feel like I'm blessed more because I tap into it more.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, we have a nice house too, right? And I built it. We built it.
That's cool.
And that's another story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking like, the only reason why we have this house, because I didn't go to school, Steven. I only went to 8th grade.
Right. That's awesome.
I was drug addict, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the only reason why we have this house, well, there's a few reasons, but God won. But the other one was, my wife and myself were willing to make the decision to jump out on a limb and do it.
100%.
We weren't afraid. We had enough faith in God and confidence in our own abilities that we could do it. Like the lack of fear like separates us from the next person that's more talented,
right?
More smarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes being smart is worse. Being smarter is where you're too smart for your own good. Then you don't trust what's going on inside of you, right? You're too analytical. I'm not saying too smart, but you know what I'm saying? Like too analytical.
Yeah, it's not by the book.
Yeah.
The book didn't say to do that.
This is not scientific. I can't heal from this.
Yeah.
It's not scientifically possible.
Yeah.
You're not going to heal, dude. Yeah. Right? If you don't think you know what, Ford, right? If you think you can and you think you can't, you're right.
Either way.
And like he wasn't educated at all. He didn't even start, I heard this the other day. He didn't start Ford until his 40s.
Did you see that? Was it Valuetainment? When they posted all the old people? Was that Valuetainment?
No, I don't know.
Who was that? No. Did you see that? They posted all of them. Like, for all these older dudes.
Like Walton,
all of them.
Ford,
they all started like in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
KFC. All of them.
Dude, that was a crazy
40s,
story.
50s, and 60s.
Yeah.
Like, 40s is like, that's like about half life.
Right.
Right? You know, so say you live to 80 to 100, God willing.
Yeah.
But let's just say 40 should be your half life. You should be going into your prime in your 40s.
Yeah, I really feel like it.
Your 40s should be your years of your prime because you've did all this stupid shit.
Yeah.
You're learning a lot. Your life has changed. You probably have kids, different ages.
Yeah.
You learn how to be a parent. You could have been a parent for 20 years already, but you're still learning at the age.
100%.
You're not ready
I'm
for
like,
it.
dang, I didn't know anything when I was 26 when I first had a kid. Dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing.
My first was 22.
Gosh.
I didn't like, and now my oldest is 22 and I'm barely learning like how to be a parent.
Right. No, totally.
That's the truth.
No, yeah, I agree.
I didn't grow up with parents.
Right, yeah.
So it's like the 40s, you learn how to be your prime. And if you're not tapping to the faith of God and learning how to be confident in your own abilities, like your 40s will pass you.
Right.
And then your 50s, like the prime, that's like a fighter in their peak, right?
Yeah.
They're right here. And they're like, the peak's up here, but the prime is going up to the peak, right?
Yeah.
And once you get to the peak, you're at the peak, but then eventually you got to go down.
Right.
Right. So you want to make that downtime, like, I think in your 70s.
Yeah.
God willing. Like my dad died at 74, I think, or 76. Smart, entrepreneur, everything. I mean, dude, he was dying. Like we were talking about this yesterday. He was dying. He died of a multiple myeloma cancer. It's what's in the blood. It starts in your spine.
Yeah.
and he was talking. He was on hospice, dying. They sent him back to his house in Huntington Beach. I was talking to him till he took his last breath.
That's awesome.
That's how smart, like how sharp his brain was.
Tapped in, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes we're so like we neglect the power we have of that was given to us by God, our own abilities, what our body does, that our body will heal ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like it's designed, like it fights off colds, it fights off flus, it wants to heal the muscle, wants to heal the cut.
Right.
But then we want to try to like change that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. We start to believe what we hear out there instead of what's going on inside of us.
Yeah.
And that takes over. And that belief system of out there starts to affect because then we start asking different things, right? We start to become more worldly instead of supernatural, which is inside of us, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, dude. Like the more I study this stuff, and like you said, like as you get in your 40s, that's why I think that, Jesus consciousness really starts getting developed. And it's your unique experience with it, right? Like you said, like you feel like you have it. You're the center of the universe, right? Like you really are this. Like think about this, right? You've seen pictures of the universe, you see pictures of Earth, you see pictures of Arizona, United States. You never really see any of that stuff. You are the center of everything. Like everything's happening with respect to you.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like you're the shiniest object in the universe. You are the most important. The universe kind of revolves around you if you really stop and think and feel what I'm talking about, right? And once you really, if you meditate on that, I'm not saying you're the most important person, but you are, right? Because reality is coming from your perspective, right? So once and this is something that I meditated on, but you can really feel this, like everybody is a function of you, right? I'm just you with a different face on, or you could say everybody is you pushed out or subconscious. You're seeing your subconscious out there, objectified in quote unquote the physical realm, but it's really coming from the inside. And so I think that as Jesus' consciousness gets developed in us, we start to play with that. We start to see that ratio of, what's going on inside of me is reflecting out there. Like the mirror, right? It's the mirror concept, right? When you smile, the mirror smiles back.
Yeah.
You start to realize, dude, whatever mood I'm in, I'm going to start seeing that effect out there.
Yeah.
And so now you can start to shift your mood because you're not so dependent on outside affecting your inside.
Yeah.
They pissed me off. They didn't piss you off, dude. Right? It's you. It's coming from you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You allow them to take control of you.
Right. Somehow, somewhere. Right. Like it's like this. Have you ever like had arguments with people in your mind, but not in person?
Yeah.
And then when you see them in person, there's this weird energy.
Yeah.
Right. And you have an argument with them.
Yeah.
Well, you had it beforehand. It's not that. And then we'll be like, they did it. It was their fault. Dude, an hour ago, you were arguing with them in your mind, and then you got in an argument. It's their fault. Right. So we start to have acceptance of how much we can really bend reality. Mm-hmm. And once you start having that like confidence, you know that, hey man, this is like cooler than we even thought. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like one of these things we can kind of move things around, shift energy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. When you realize like that we can have a good life.
Totally.
We can have more than what we have. We can do more than we can do. We can be more. We can give more. We can accept more. Yeah. And we don't have to accept like the bare minimum.
Right. And to say that we're God wants us to be poor.
Yeah.
Right. It's showing that we really care. Right. Like I'm going to sacrifice my life and then I'm going to get heaven at some point in the future when I die. But I'm going to sacrifice right now. Right. Like that's like somehow cool in some people still.
What's crazy is I don't know. Somebody would see this from my wife's family. But her aunts,
like money's evil or something.
Her aunts came. My wife's family. Her aunts came. They're older. They're probably like 70s, 80s. Her like great aunts. I think is what they are. I don't even know. Yeah, like her grandma's sisters. They all came to our house like 2 months ago, and our house is kind of big. Your house, I've seen snippets. Your house looks pretty big.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. So our house is like pretty big, and anyways, they come in. They're real religious, and they start like kind of saying like, I wasn't there. She was telling me. She's like. Yeah, they were like downing me for having a big house. Like if it's evil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, do they even read the Bible? Like, are they as spiritual as they say? Because being spiritual and having a relationship with God is one thing than being religious, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so they went to our house, you invited them over, you hosted them, and they were talking about how we shouldn't have that, and it's like blasphemy, and it's
it's more than you need.
Selfish, it's more than I need,
right,
all this stuff. And I'm like, man, it's too bad that they think that way.
Right.
And there's so many people that think that way, like, and I used to think that way.
I think
when I was younger.
It's part of
but you're 80.
It's kind of like culture.
By 80, you should know, like, people are like, you'd want to cheer them on, and
right.
That's, man, this is amazing. God is so good that He blessed you with a big house that way you can host parties and show how good God is.
Right. Well, it just goes to show you like how people really don't mature spiritually, right?
Yeah. Or in general.
Right. I mean, like it's like the people that are in 70s that are worried about really insignificant things like traffic and like things that like don't matter. Like
they got to go to
dude, you're gonna die at
to get gas and
right. You're gonna die like you're
minutes.
gonna die at like you're really close to more dying than living, right? So like you would think you would start to drop all those insignificant things, and why be worried to the day you die? Like you're gonna die. Like let's let go of that stuff.
Cause more stress and more heartache.
Man, you're in traffic. You're 75 years old. Why are you complaining about traffic, dude? Where are you in a hurry to get to?
Yeah, you've already been there for 70. You've been driving for 60 years already. You should already know what's going to happen, bro.
Yeah,
you're an expert.
I know, right? How many more years do you want to worry about traffic, dude?
Yeah, you know, it's going to take an hour.
Yeah. It's not that big a deal. Yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, when they went to our house, man, I was just like, because I always heard about them. I heard about these, and I thought they were gonna really be like proud of her, my wife. They're great. They're great niece, like doing really well. And, and they're like, you're a piece of crap. Like, whoa.
Well, it comes back to, and I was thinking about this on the way here, like, we all start with wanting external validation, right? And like, you hear people talk about this, and I'm like, external validation, it's not really like, I can't really feel what external validation feels like. I think it's like wanting someone to look at what you did, right? And you want to feel good because of their opinion, right? Yeah. It's like, I want you to see what I did. Like, hey, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing. Hey, check this out. Look at this. And then your mood gets affected by whatever they say.
Yeah.
Right? We all start off that way, right? And then that's the outside in. That's an external world affecting my internal world, right? And you have no power in that. So you're always at the mercy of people either liking you or not liking you.
Yeah,
And that affects your self-image, right?
Totally.
And then eventually what I'm talking about on earth as it is in heaven, right? We start to realize that, look, this whole illusion is being projected from us. And so I start needing you to even like my stuff because I like my stuff. And not only that, is that I realize that you are projected from me, right? Does that make sense? Like everybody is projected from you and your mood and your energy.
Needing validation.
Yes, right? Like we're all one. God's mind and my mind is one. Like God's will and my will. It's all coming from you, from your perspective. And everything's generated from that. So then I don't need you, or I don't need circumstances to affect me. I can be like, no, I am affecting circumstances. Yeah. And that's what really, really taps into, that's applied faith, right? I don't need the world to change. I need to change to see the change in the world.
No,
right?
It's true. Yeah, because you're going to see it.
That's
how
huge,
you see it,
man.
And how you see it matters on how you live your life.
Yes, and the actions take care of themselves. You don't have to force it, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't. Then you get to a point where you don't need validation.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes.
And you become the validator.
Yeah.
You become. That's when you become that mentor, that coach.
Right.
You're like, I want to show you guys what's going on. It's like when we built our house, it was, Felicity and I, we designed it so that way we had everything at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't have to leave. We put a gym, we put a theater, we put all this. And I was like, I didn't even care and no one ever came to our house.
Right.
But we knew God, like we got the piece of land and all that stuff. Like we knew it was designed to have, we're going to have church functions.
Right.
And people over and baptisms. We've done baptisms in the backyard.
That's awesome. Right. Like look at the, and what you're talking, like that's what applied faith is, what you did, right?
Yeah.
You jumped and then God will provide a landing. Right? He'll never let you fall. Because if you finally make up your mind, heaven and earth will line up, right? You don't need the external validation because you jumped because you know it always works out. Like if we all look back in our lives, we'll see that it always worked out, right? You always had enough. We live in an abundant universe, and yet sometimes we forget. But if we go back and look at our life, at the last hour, at the last minute, it always worked out. Maybe we didn't have enough money for rent when we were younger.
Yeah.
But somehow, some way, it always worked out, right? We were sick. We were almost going to die. Oh my God, I'm almost going to die. It was so close to death. And then, here we are talking still, right?
Yeah.
It's never going to happen to you.
If you believe it though, because we've had throughout the years, we've been in business 16 years now, and there would be like our early years, like no money for payroll, and you know, when we had like 10 guys in and we're like broke, and I remember we'll be praying like we need some money, you know, and say it was $10,000 or whatever at that time, and $5,000, whatever it was, and we'd have no money, and then like 3 p.m. on Friday, we already cut these guys checks. We never bounced the check, bro.
Right.
And
yeah.
And it'll be like, and this happened like 50 times. It'd be like 3 o'clock on Friday, and one of the general contractors or customer or something like, hey, Chris, we got a check here. You know, we're gonna close at 4:30. You know, come get it. And I'm like, damn, they're in Chandler. Yeah. So then I would go, all right, Felicity, I'm gonna go get the check, find out where I can go deposit this, and make sure the money gets moved to the right account. So I'm like, pop, pop, pop. But it was like always like timing. It was like on God's timing. And we keep talking about God. And if you don't want to listen to this, just change the channel. I don't care. But it's like, that's just how it is.
Right.
You know, and it's if we can tap into all this stuff with, you know, like with the stuff you're teaching, you know, and if we can utilize our faith and have this confidence, like we can all live a great life.
100%.
We don't have to live in poverty. We don't have to be poor. We don't have to be overweight. We don't have to have skin conditions. Like there's a lot of things, you know, that we can get through.
Right. And it can be the way that however you want to live your life, right? It doesn't have to be like me or him or nobody else. It's like whatever your heart desires, you can make manifest in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want a business of 2, if you don't even want a business and you want to be the assistant. Yeah. But be the best assistant and live that
whatever
life.
You want to be a housewife, whatever. It doesn't. It's you have to search your heart, and you're going that direction. It's just that you have faith. That's the biggest thing, and that's going to determine whether you enjoy what's going on, you enjoy your experience, you're resisting life, or you're like playing and you're riding the wave and like having a good time, and spreading love and acceptance with everybody else.
Spread the love.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's go back again. I love going back and forth. So you're going to school, you get into chiropractor. Did you get a job coming out of school, or did you go right into business?
I went and I did the same thing. I went and mentored with somebody right after, like
Another
before
guy.
I got my license. I'm like, hey, can I come work with you?
In LA?
No, in Arizona.
Okay.
So I moved back. Dr. Dan Grant, he's my mentor. I worked with him before I got my license. As soon as I got my license, dude, I found this plate, like the cheap. I didn't have any money, but I saved up some money. I was doing work study when I was going to chiropractic school. And so, you know, I was getting loans and stuff, and I was just saving as much loans as I could. Yeah. Right. And so I found this place, and they gave me 6 months free rent. I still have an office there. And so I could afford it. Like I had really like not that much money at all, but I was so crazy. I was like, I went and like, I did Habitat for Humanity in chiropractic school. So I knew how to like do drywall and stuff. So I found this old chiropractic office. The chiropractor moved out.
Bro, we have a drywall company. Come on.
Yeah, this was 20 years ago. So you know those big bins that you rent for like construction?
The garbage trash bin?
Yeah, you put it in the back. Well, I couldn't afford that, right? But there was a U-Haul place like pretty close, like right in the same complex as mine.
$20.
$20. And I got some guys on Arizona Avenue, some Mexican dudes. They like, hey man, can you help me out? We filled that thing up, dude. We filled it up so much, like it hit the tires when it was bouncing. And
all the trash.
Yeah, the trash. Yeah. We filled it up with trash and took down all the walls, built new walls, carpet, everything, dude. I just built it myself. Yeah. And it took me 3 weeks to get it ready.
Nice.
And I just opened my office for that day, dude. It was crazy.
How old were you?
26.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you're 46, 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
20 years been on your own. Yeah. How's that been like? Because it without that faith, that relationship with God, without those things, the hard work, the determination, their endurance, the stamina. Like, but how's the journey? 20 years of business dealing with people, because they're not always happy.
No,
they're angry. They're hurting.
They're hurting. Yeah,
they're hurting. They're
scared. Yeah,
it's like a dog that's hurting. They're gonna bite you, right?
Yeah.
Like, how's that journey though?
It's, dude, the biggest thing is that it always comes back to self.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you have that many experiences with people. It's so self-reflective. I mean, you can't not, because you're going to be affected by it emotionally, and you can't keep bringing that back to the game, right? So you have to, it has to shift you internally somehow, and you make these micro adjustments, and that's where you actually heal yourself. And then as you heal yourself from everything that gets reflected to you, your ability to help other people heal, just, it gets exponential. So like now, compared to when I first started, like now, like, man, I can just talk to people, and just from them, just talking to them and being in their presence and stuff, their energy already starts to shift, and the healing is faster and better.
Totally.
And like that, they can take on my frequency, and like, you know, like just guys that I help mentor with, like, you know, weight loss or exercise or whatever. Even the people that listen to my Instagram, I feel like, you know, some of this frequency rubs off on people, and it kind of helps people. You know, a high tide raises all ships, right? And so, yeah, man, having all those challenges really helps.
I love it.
You couldn't be in business for 20 years, either one of us, if you weren't good, right? You have to be. The market wouldn't allow it. You'd be done, right? Yeah. So your only option is to improve and get better.
And you have one office, two offices. What do you got?
I have an office, and I have a pain center, and so I do consultation work. I do all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
I wrote a book.
So I know.
Yeah,
I know. And then are you? I feel like you're like a sponsor for like some nutrition brand or something. Are you?
Yeah, I work with a peptide company. Yeah, genetic peptides, and another one, Man Sports.
Man Sports.
Yeah, it's a nutrition supplement company. Yeah.
Nice. And so you got into peptides, and I watched you, like, we've talked a few times.
Yeah.
I think you even got mad at me over text. You're like, screw this guy. You're not gonna take it serious. I'm out. I was like, shit. Come on,
dude,
bro.
There's a takeaway sale for everything, right? Well, no,
you want serious customers.
I want,
like,
It's just as much for them as it is for me, right? But like, it's huge, right? Because like, you never want to talk somebody into doing anything. I don't believe in selling.
Yeah.
I believe in providing value, and if someone's not ready to see that value yet, you can't. It's only to diminish your power if you try to like talk them into it, right?
Yeah. Then if something goes wrong, they're gonna hate you for it.
It's like one of those things, man. Like, I'm no one's savior. I have to show them that they can save themselves. So if somebody's not ready, if they're not at the right frequency, all you can do is come back to yourself and keep improving yourself, and then maybe they'll see it at some point.
Yeah.
But like, if you could, even from when I started, when I first talked to you about that stuff, like, I've improved so much.
Yeah, because you were barely. That was the beginning of the journey.
Yeah, and it was good then too. And I was like, once I tapped in, and this is why I talk about consciousness so much. It's like, we're talking ourselves into the truth, which is reality is a function of our innermost desires and beliefs.
Yeah.
And faith.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you've been doing the peptides. What has it been,
Since
like 8 months or something?
Yeah, something like that. Summertime, somewhere.
A few months.
6 to 8 months. Yeah.
And what have some of the changes you've seen, the positives you've seen? Because I'm starting to study it a little bit because of you.
Right. Yeah.
And
the biggest thing is this, right? The biggest thing is this. You just got to just do it and try it. Because when I first started, I started because I had an injury, like a thigh injury. And I ordered some peptides from this guy, the Wolverine Stack PP 157, TB 500, right? And
Tremoline, is that what's that?
No, it's just a peptide. BP 157.
Yeah, I have that one on my list.
Yeah, so that's good. It helps heal like injuries, muscle ligaments, and stuff like that. And so he threw in this bottle of another peptide called tesofensine.
Oh, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, tesofensine it was used in Alzheimer's and dementia patients to help improve cognitive function. Well, what they found was that after like a few months, these patients were like dropping body fat. They're like, wow, it's helping them think better, and they're losing all this body fat at the same time. Well, the side effects was weight loss. And when I took it after a week, maybe not even a week, when I took it, and because I always had kind of like you would say it's an addictive personality, right? I could always do anything extreme. I mean, you couldn't be in business if you didn't have that type of attitude or just kind of personality, right? Like I could do anything 110%. More than anybody else. I could, drink more than other people. I could work out harder. I could do anything harder. Whatever it is, man, I could read more books, right? Whatever it is, I could always go to the extreme. Same with like eating food and stuff like that. Good or bad, it could go either way, right? Well, when I took it, I noticed right away, like, man, my consciousness opened up. I could see things I couldn't see before. And not only that, is that like my desire for like sweets, because I could eat healthy all day long. And then at nighttime, right, I'd be like, especially if my wife had like food or treats or something there, I'd wake up at like 11 o'clock and just crush it. And I couldn't go, like, I would even wake up in the middle of the night and go eat it because I knew it was there. Like, it was really weird. Like, the harder I pushed, the harder I was disciplined, it was like equal and opposite on the other end too, right? So, I mean, I was lean, and then I got kind of out of shape. And then because I had the injury, and so I started taking the peptide for the healing, but also taking this other one. After a week, I was like, oh my gosh, I see how this works. Wow. So people hear about semaglutide and, other types of peptides. Those are just peptides, right? That help you mitigate like appetite and stuff like that. This works, and they don't even talk about how this works. It works in a completely different way. Now, right away, I understood it. And so it helps you develop consciousness. So think about the pyramid of self-actualization. Where the base level is like, look, you just need shelter, food, clothing, right? And then you keep going up like love, and then you go like consciousness and right? You know that pyramid of self-actualization, right? So we have base level desires where we can say like, that's the animal part of us. And then there's a spiritual aspect of humans too, godlike, right? And so if you can get rid of all those cardinal desires, right? If you didn't have to worry about eating and drinking and all that kind of stuff, then you could spend your consciousness on higher order stuff, right? I can really study. I can really connect. I can really be into creating my desired life. Because I wouldn't be so dependent. I wouldn't be so chained to, I need to eat. I need to drink. I need to go have sex. I need to do drugs. Like, right? If you could get rid of all those base level desires, then your consciousness would have to do something else. And that's why I think that it could ascend and really help you create your desired reality, because you wouldn't have all these distractions. So
is it, so I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos, just trying to learn what it is, just for my healing part, not the workout portion.
Right. Yeah.
And basically I've come up with the same concoctions you're talking about. And we'll talk about this later. But I thought I heard something where like your body creates like thousands of peptides or something. And these enhance those. Like the peptide chemical enhances those to help.
Right, it helps some. Yeah. So some of them will help your body secrete more growth hormones. Some of them will help healing factors it's all present in your body. And
that's what I mean. Yeah,
it's just sequences of amino acids. So it's not hormonally affecting your body directly. So it's all indirect, and there's like,
and most of from what I'm understanding is there's not like big dangers in it. Like
there's no real side effects.
Like I think there was a couple. But like the workout stuff we're talking about, I didn't see any. Everyone, I watched a ton of videos. Like basically no side effects. What I do know is the FDA won't approve it, but we all know that whatever the FDA don't approve, usually because it's usually pretty good. It's
because like they can't.
It's usually pretty good.
Because they can't like trademark some of the stuff, right?
Yeah. They can't make money.
If drug companies can't trademark it, then they're not going to really. So. They don't feed the
it's
FDA,
right?
Good. Yeah.
Usually what the FDA don't approve is usually pretty damn
I know,
good.
right? I mean, like, look at all these chemicals and stuff that they approve.
I know,
right? All these dyes.
The dyes.
Oh my gosh. Jesus. Yeah. So it all goes together, man.
Yeah. So you're doing. Are you taking on customers for like these treatments? What do you call them?
I help them direct their own healthcare when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I would say that was the best. So I'm work more as a consult for that kind of stuff. So like mostly with like guys like you, like businessmen and businesswomen, like stuff like that. So I put myself out there on Instagram a lot. Like I said, I wrote this book that's coming out this week.
This week?
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been nice to have it.
Yeah. It's one of those things you had to jump. Like I have enough in my head to write, 15 books and experiences. And it's one of those things, you just have to jump and do it. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to commit. So I already pre-sold, and with every pre-order, I gave a 20-minute free consultation.
I think
so I'm already like
something you said, like Xiaomi $25 for
20
the
bucks. Yeah. So like, it's one of those things you have to jump and God will catch you. Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, well, actually last week, something's like told me, like clear as day, God was talking in my own voice, write your book, just write that book. And I was like, okay. And that's why I got on Instagram that day. It's like, hey dude, I'm putting together this book, pre-order, $20.
Hold on. And so you already wrote it and everything?
It's like, I'm like just putting it all together right now. It's just like formatting it. And
you need
stuff like
help with it? I think I know a couple.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I know some people that written a lot of books and they know publishers and all that stuff.
I mean, it's kind of like just a quick thing, right? You know, like I already have
small, like 20 pages?
It's like 50 pages so far.
Are you going to do a small book or normal size?
It's going to just be an ebook for now. That way I can just distribute it, right? Yeah. And then I put it on Kindle and all that kind of stuff. So the hardest thing is keeping
AI
it condensed.
Will help
Yeah. It's good. Yeah.
I love AI.
I mean, dude, you see how much stuff I write on Instagram? I can't stop, dude. I'm doing it all day long. It's crazy.
I know. I'm like, who the hell's running his businesses?
Yeah, people think that too, but my businesses like kind of run themselves, dude. It's fun. I mean,
you got a team there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got like other doctors, chiropractor doctors?
I don't, right? Not right now.
You need one.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, it's like one of those things, man. It's everybody wants to see me, right? And it's so if I have another doctor there, it's like.
But you give new patients to the other doctor where everyone would start to want to see him.
Yeah,
a good looking person.
Everybody comes, you know what I mean? Everybody finds me because of me somehow. So
yeah.
But it's one of those things. I'm only in the office 24 hours a week. So I'm only adjusting 24 hours a week. So like all the other time, I have to just study and meditate.
What are you doing? Like 6 hours a day, 4 days a week?
I do 2 full days and 3 half days. So I'm adjusting 24.
So it's still 5 days a week.
Yeah.
It's just not the full gamut, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever.
Right.
And then the other times now you're getting in, you can do these consulting things and more passion projects that still tie into health and lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And where the shops at your practices at?
One's in Tempe. Well, 16 rural.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you live out that way too?
Yeah, I live in Gilbert. Yeah.
Gilbert. Yeah. That's where all the rich people live.
I guess Santan's like where like the highest income levels are now.
Is it?
Not Scottsdale, I guess.
Gilbert, they moved to Santan?
I don't know if Gilbert was.
Well, Glendale, we got a lot of people. I live in Glendale.
Yeah.
That's like quiet money over there.
Yeah.
We still drive Nissans and Toyotas and stuff.
Yeah.
All the millionaires are just driving Toyotas and Nissans. You know what's crazy is I went like on your, because I'm not that much on that side of town.
Yeah.
But I went to we went to like a Christmas village. Was that Santan? Is it called Santan Village or something? Shopping center. I don't know what it's called. But we went to like a Christmas thing, and then so we went and did that, my wife and myself. Then I was like, hey, let's go to Shields.
Oh yeah,
that's a really cool store.
That's crazy, huh?
I never been there.
Dude,
I always wanted to go there.
Did you think the same thing I thought as a business owner?
What's that?
The overhead in this thing must be
this is insane. First, you got
to
get all this product.
Yeah.
And then you got to have all these people. There's like a ton of employees.
Dude, the AC bill must be insane.
It's a super cool store, though.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go to Shields. And so we're like, all right, let's go to Chandler Fashion Mall. And I hadn't been there in like 20 years or whenever it opened. Like 18 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the same mall. Because I don't know, have you ever been there?
Shields?
Chandler Fashion Mall.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of gone downhill.
Yeah, I thought it was like...
It used to be nice.
Back then, it was supposed to be like Scottsdale Fashion.
It was nice.
And I go on there, and it's like ghetto 8, bro. Like, I'm by the Metro Center, and they're knocking it down. I was like, is this the Metro Center?
Right, no, yeah.
Oh,
it's like terrible. Half filled and
what
stuff.
Happened
right?
to Chandler?
I don't know,
Chandler's gone downhill.
Yeah, it's gone downhill. Yeah.
How does that happen?
I have no clue.
Is that the mayor and stuff?
I have no clue, man. Maybe I don't know. But
why
it's
are we
not
even talking about Chandler? But dude, I was there. I was like, holy Jesus! Dude, I'm not going back to this mall.
Am I in the Mills Mall now?
Hey, I was like, I should have brought my gun.
You got crazy, man. Yeah.
Arizona Mills. Am I gonna get kidnapped instead of kids? They kidnap humans and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But no, I'm super glad you're doing good, man. Like, where can all the followers capture you, like get you at?
I'm mostly on Instagram. Yeah, at Dr. Steven Enriquez. Just at Dr. Steven Enriquez. Dr. Steven Enriquez. Yeah.
And then what's some big things that you want to accomplish, coming up in 2025, 2026, 2027? Like, what's something cool that you want to do? Like, whatever it is.
For sure. Like, I want my book to be just killer.
Impactful.
Yeah. Impactful. Continue doing, scaling the business and just providing a lot of value, man. Like, just keep pushing the envelope in terms of, consciousness work. And I'm just so driven by doing it. Like, I do it all day long. It sounds crazy. And, but it's like one of those things I can't stop.
Yeah. I
want to help people. And it's one of those things, like, as you talk people into, it's one of those things you have to help other people do it in order to develop it more in yourself.
Yeah.
Because everybody is just you. And so as you help other people improve their lives by helping them develop their consciousness, you're continuing the flow, right? You're planting seeds in yourself, right? And so, like, it's
because you want to keep learning. You want to keep. That's how I am. I want to keep teaching people what I know. So I got to keep learning more things to teach.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
So right. So that's what I'm really thinking about all day long. Like, how can I explain this more? Like, how can I give this presentation? How can I help somebody understand this? This esoteric knowledge and bring it to a place where it's
a big word, bro. I don't even know what the hell that means.
Esoteric. It's like,
I told you I went to 8th grade.
like this spiritual concept that's not really solid, right? Like, how can I bring this concept and help people apply it to themselves? How can I really help people show them that they are manifesting their life exactly the way they want to right now? And if they want to shift that, they have to do these things. Yeah. And I have to be the example of it, right? Like, I can't tell people how to eat healthy and work out and be, heal if I'm not doing it myself. So as I'm demonstrating it, right? Yeah. As I'm helping people, I'm convincing myself and convincing them it's inside of them, I'm emanating that, right? What you release, you keep. Whatever you give, you keep, right?
Yeah.
What you reap, you sow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's one of these things that, like, reality is not how we think it is. It's not. It's not how we're taught, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not how we were taught, dude. No. That's not how the world teaches it.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you grew up in a good home and they're successful family type thing where they're
right. Yeah.
Like we're teaching our kids like how to live a better life. I wasn't taught that. I was like,
yeah.
Go
totally.
do some drugs.
Right. But you know what? Like, we're dropped in the middle of a story. And this is the story that we want to be dropped inside of, right? You know what I'm saying? We chose our parents. We chose a story that we dropped into somehow.
Well, somehow I don't know how that works, but like
we wanted it this way.
God wanted it this way,
right? Yeah,
and it was designed by I. It's sad to say. I mean, it's what it is. Like, I was supposed to not go to high school. I was supposed to be a drug addict.
100%.
I was supposed to do all these things to be able to be and do what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Well, I always think that addicts and people that have issues with drugs.
Why would you call me an addict, bro?
Well, you said it. Didn't you say it?
It's kind of hurtful.
Did you say addictive?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
dude, I'm like you, bro. I'm not addicted to drugs and women and all that stuff anymore.
I could do anything,
but I'm addicted to work, whatever I like.
Yeah, it just shifts, but 100%. Like, I did,
or cupcakes,
all the same things, man. I feel that people that have addictions of some sort, or the extremists, it's really because they're trying to consolidate their spirituality with a non-spiritual world. It's like you have one foot in the spirit world and one foot in the physical world. And because they kind of don't make sense, you have to do something to feel a different way.
Yeah.
And until you start to really consolidate that and affect it in a more positive way, either you die from addiction and you ruin your life, or you transcend and you start to create better businesses and health and really helping people. So I feel like the addicts and the people that had problems with drugs and alcohol are the blessed ones. Yeah. Super blessed. It's just that now they have, which way you're going to take that energy.
Yeah, it's a harder path. You learn from it. Like, I mean, it's true. Like,
I mean, you have more experiences than people that, like, I went through all the same stuff, right? Yeah. Drinking and alcohol and drugs and all that kind of stuff. And, you learn really fast, man,
Yeah.
And because you just can't keep going down that road.
Yeah.
You grow up.
You can.
Yeah. You can, right? Yeah. I guess you could.
Many people do.
Yeah. You stay stuck there.
You're at the corner.
Right. But I also think that you have more experiences than people that never had those problems.
Well, I mean? I can see, like, for me personally, I see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But that's on the good side. On the bad side, I judge people, and I'm like, listen, because I was giving up right before I turned 8, right?
Yeah.
I started doing heavy drugs at 13, and I look at people and I'm like, you're such a weenie.
Right, you can't get out of it, right?
You can't quit that. You can't freaking climb that. You can't, like, I'm freaking, like, I shouldn't even be here.
Right, yeah.
But I shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But that's the
Well,
bad
you catch
side.
yourself
That's
there,
the
yeah.
bad side of it. Is like I start to be judgmental. Then I have to stop and be like, you know what? They weren't taught. Their parents didn't show them.
That's the journey they have to go
grew
on,
up
right?
that way.
Yeah.
You know, I have to like, but it does help me to like understand why people are going through what they're going through, and I know exactly what they're going through because I'm like, are you into that?
Yeah.
Are
They're
you
just
into
trying to feel better, dude. You know what I mean? They're just trying to feel good, dude.
Yeah, then I can say, well, here's how I did it.
Yeah.
Here's how I quit. Here's how I changed my life. Here's how I grew my business. Here's how I did this. Here's how I did that. You know, because now I like to say is like your testimony, yours and mine testimonies are someone else's victory.
Yeah, 100%.
If we can give them what we've learned,
Right.
and what we've been blessed from, the knowledge, the wisdom, the power, all that stuff, they take that and apply it. Now that's their victory. That's a victory. Right?
100%.
So, okay, as we close, what's one last nugget you can leave the audience with? Maybe a young entrepreneur or someone.
Okay, yeah,
trying to come
I got
up,
something
whatever.
good, man.
All right, let's do it.
2025 is going to be your best year ever. Everybody's best. If you're watching this, you're at the right frequency to hear this. So you're blessed just right now, okay? If you mind your money, your mind, and your mouth, 2025 is going to be your best year yet. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes.
The 3 M's: your money, your mind, and your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our stuff. Follow Dr. Steven Enriquez on Instagram. Go to his chiropractic places. It's Global Chiropractic. If you want to get super fit and get on some peptide regimen, hit him up. I'm telling you, pay for it, because he knows what it is. Pay for his expertise.
Yes.
If you need something from me, hit me up. We closed out 2024. We're going to go into 2025. We're going to kill it. Dr. Steven Enriquez, Chris Estrada, be blessed.